All right, we will call the meeting to order. Jen, would you take roll, please?
Commissioner Thill.
Here.
Commissioner Corbin.
Here.
Commissioner Waldner.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson.
Here.
Mayor Lindsay.
Here. You have before you the agenda for this evening.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Under appearances, acknowledgements, acknowledge the retail on and off malt beverage and retail on and off sale wine license transfer applications and set a date of hearing for Caduce Keating LLC, Mocavino, to Contarino Hanamichael LLC, Mocavino. Jen, did you want to address that?
Sure, thank you. Two applications in front of you this evening, the retail on off-sale malt beverage, and then also the retail on off-sale wine. As the mayor stated, from Caduce Keating LLC to Contario Hanamichael. Asked this evening that you acknowledge the applications, set the date of hearing. We will publish this notice on Thursday, March 1st, and anticipate Sam and Hano being with us 2 weeks from today to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, and so that date of hearing would be the 12th.
Correct?
5:35 p.m.
Correct.
Okay. If there are no questions, somebody want to, do we need to make a motion on that one?
Please.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to acknowledge retail
Mhm.
malt beverage and retail wine license transfer application, set a date of hearing for March 12th at 5:35. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Is there anything anyone wants removed from the consent calendar? If not, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no old business, under new business. Authorize the mayor to sign a quote, Clean Harbors Environmental Services, hazardous and non-hazardous waste disposal for the remaining chemicals and that for the from the Wank property. And Brad, would you want to address that?
Yes, Your Honor. These were the last chemicals. There was one, the 1,200-gallon tank that was had to have the chemicals removed from it, disassembled and cleaned up. These are the remnants of that tank. And then also there was one green drum that had been placed out on that west loading dock that was not in the inventory prior to that. And we had to have that sampled and tested because it was an unknown quantity, and that's also on this. So those are the two chemicals that are set to be transported and disposed of.
And do you have a cost estimate on that?
There is cost estimate here on this, and it's $3,813.31.
Questions or comments? Okay, and this will be hopefully this will be the finalizing of that project. So with that, do we have a motion?
You want that with the dollar amount?
3813?
Sure.
31.
Please.
Well, I'll make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign a quote with Clean Harbors Environmental Services for hazardous and non-hazardous waste disposal at the Wink property for $38.13
31.
31 cents.
and 31 cents.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 2, authorize the mayor to sign the intergovernmental contract with the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance, ownership of net position and board of directors composition changes. Jen, do you want to address this one?
I can. So as part of your agenda packet, you have a new 10-page intergovernmental contract. As stated on your cover sheet here, these changes are twofold. First of all, the ownership of the net position of the pool. As explained here, the old agreement, the net position was divided into an operating fund and a cumulative reserve fund. This new agreement eliminates the distinction between the two and allocates 100% of the ownership of the South Dakota Public Assurance's net position to the members. Okay, and that was based on their continued strong financial position and also the recommendations of their actuary. The second change here is the change to the Board of Directors composition. For many years, the executive director of the South Dakota Municipal League, who is our own Yvonne Taylor, and then also the executive director of the South Dakota Association of County Commissioners, who is our friend Bob Wilcox. They have both sat on this board in an ex officio capacity. As of this change, they are now considered standing members of the board who have been granted full voting rights. Okay, so two changes. I've looked at this, compared it to the standing agreements. I'm very comfortable with what we're agreeing to here.
Okay. And we are just one of many entities that are a part of this, so.
The county did this a couple weeks ago, if you follow the county's notices.
Questions or comments? If not, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we authorize the mayor to sign intergovernmental contract, South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance, ownership of net position and board of directors composition changes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Number 3, discuss the Lake County Road R33 and the 2019 South Dakota DOT Washington Avenue project, 10th Street intersection. I'm going to ask Chad if you'd like to address this.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I provided a sketch of the traffic control, tentative traffic control markings for that intersection that you have before you, and there's some other copies if anybody wants them as well. We've been working with the DOT on that intersection, even though two legs of the intersection are county jurisdiction. The east leg at that intersection, the west leg at that intersection is 10th Street, and then south continuation of Washington Avenue is also a county road as well. Part of the process that we've had in working with the DOT is trying to get this lane configuration so that it works the best. We've had several members of the public, people who are owners, business owners out in the industrial park, talk to us and talk with the DOT about that, and getting some of the traffic patterns lined up appropriately to handle traffic. We've made some headway with the DOT in doing that. During the course of that discussion, it has come up the south leg of the intersection there. You can see on your map, there's a north arrow. You can see the DOT is planning to install surfacing as part of the project in that crosshatched area that you will see there. But further south of the crosshatch area on the south leg of that intersection, they have recommended that we, the locals, and they're sort of blending us and the county together there, that perhaps some additional pavement be accomplished there, but that's not their jurisdiction. It's not the DOT's jurisdiction, and in this case, it's not the city's jurisdiction. It's the county's jurisdiction. And so we talked to the county a little bit. We asked for some options from the DOT, what those costs might be, and what they might recommend. They had recommended installing about 200 feet of pavement, asphalt pavement there, whether it's an overlay for about $13,000, or a full 4-inch remove the surfacing and put 4 inches back for really roughly about $26,000. I've talked with our attorney. We can't typically, if there's, let me pause just a minute. Typically, there's agreements for upsizing storm sewer or various different components, improving the lights like we did on the 2nd Street, where the city will enter into a contract with the DOT where we can commit to funding a portion of those changes. The lights, we paid for deeper footings so that we could put banners on them. Well, the same principle is what would have to be proceeded with, is our understanding on that south leg of the intersection. in other words, paving this additional 200 feet. Well, it's not our jurisdiction, it's Lake County's jurisdiction. But we're collaborating and trying to shepherd the ship through here a little bit. And so I want to know what the commission would like us to do to reach
So-
out with them. The DOT would have to enter into an agreement with Lake County for that portion. The city can approach Lake County and request that. The DOT has had some conversation with Lake County, but I think they're looking at us to sort of facilitate this and try to work through this. A lot of city residents will use that road and so on. So I was looking for guidance from the commission on what they might want to do
Now,
here.
on the drawing that we're looking at here, it shows that portion north of where the hash mark is, as a 12-foot wide lane, a 12-foot wide lane going north and turning west, and an 18-foot wide lane going south. Are those the current measurements, or are they what the state would prefer?
I believe that would meet the roadway section farther south. I think that, of course, there's no curb and gutter on the west side, so there's new curb and gutter on the west side. The east side of that leg has been widened slightly to allow for traffic to flow better from south to north through that intersection and line up in a satisfactory manner.
Because currently coming north, it's not striped as a straight ahead or a left turn lane. It's just basically a single
Right.
lane currently.
The DOT would recommend that we try to do a lane configuration change
Sure.
like is shown here.
Because the big concern in that we get from people is as you're coming north, you're facing the driver going south.
Right. Yeah.
And so one of you has to make a jog, and that, to avoid running into each other head on.
Right.
So with this 12-foot wide, making it a left turn lane and a straight ahead lane, it appears on the drawing then that the person from the south will go straight across now and will not be meeting the person making the left turn.
That's right. And if it can be worked out, and there can be some agreement, Lake County will agree to this. I think they will have to consent, not only to the 200 feet, but perhaps this lane configuration. At least the width will be constructed. We worked with the DOT to get them to add this
Okay.
width to allow it to be there, but the ball's somewhat in the county's court to at least the paving, perhaps even the line striping. They may-
So at this point in time, and you and I have discussed this, and that it would be, I guess, my recommendation in that you go before the county, and explain, what the DOT is recommending, and see if the county is willing to step forward on that project.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay?
I guess I'd like to know, why do we have to always be the first one to get involved in this? Let the DOT work with the county before we get stuck paying for more street maintenance that we don't need to. This is a county road, it is not a city road. Let's take care of our own stuff first. Let's
Bob-
let's let the DOT
Yep.
put the pressure on them.
Well, it came to the city from our citizens who are driving north. Can we do something since the highway is being done anyway through the city? And so, I don't know if they've spoken with the county, but I guess I thought it would be good from the city standpoint if we went to the county and said, this is the time when they're redoing everything here. Would you step up to the plate and do 200 feet there and make it safer for everybody that travels through it? Because right now, if you travel from the south going north, you're head on with the person turning left. So I'm not, saying, put any money into this. I'm saying, let's bring it to, in front of the county and saying that, besides the state having a concern, we as the city have a concern. Because sometimes it's not a problem if it's not addressed. And the concern has been coming from people, citizens that drive this every day.
So did this change come about because of a request by Lake County residents, or is this something the DOT did on their own?
This striping layout,
Well, the reason we need to,
the additional width was, as the mayor had indicated, a lot of those people who are working out there and driving north through this intersection, and landowners out in the industrial park have approached me and other people within the DOT, and I think the mayor and others, about trying to get this done right. Well, this whole thing is tore up, and do it right.
Well, the state's doing it,
Right. And so that's.
I was just asking if it was a DOT change, DOT should cover it, but if it's something that,
They're going to provide the width, and you can see from the hatched area, they'll provide the width, and everything will be laid out so that it could be striped this way. And if nothing comes to pass with Lake County, they could still implement this lane configuration, but this center turn lane striping, as it gets farther south, away from the newly placed asphalt, it would be on the old asphalt that's in somewhat disrepair, and potentially, again, with this 3-lane section, you could push traffic that's northbound onto the edge of the current lane, even onto the shoulder, which is, I believe, in even tougher shape right now. It's a county road, so I don't know the exact condition of it, but I think some of the edges of it are not in the best shape. Some initial discussions we've had with the county is, that's not in their 5-year plan, and so there might be some challenges there, but we don't, until we go and ask them. We don't know for sure what they might be able to do. This isn't scheduled to be funded in 2018, of course. It'd be 2019 at the earliest, and it may even drag out even farther depending on when the DOT would send invoices per those agreements I had mentioned.
But currently, the state is going to be doing Highway 34 basically, coming south. And if you notice on here, currently when you drive up and stop, you stop at the intersection, which is near the little triangle on the right-hand side, for the right turn. Their proposal is to make the stop line, the painted stripe, further to the north, allowing a wider turn for vehicles coming from the west to turn north. So, and Chad, you said that it doesn't appear that they're going to make the lanes very much wider at that area?
They'll be the similar width, the same widths as what we have here on Second Street. So
On
they'll
Second
be,
Street,
they'll be
okay.
wider than what they are right now.
Yeah, okay. So they're addressing, the turn from the west going north by having traffic stop further to the north. And then it appears on the drawing that the radius from those traveling west on 34 turning north, it appears that radius will be a little larger, very similar to what was done down at Washington and 2nd Street. So it'll make the traffic coming into town from the east have a little wider turn than what they currently do if you're going north. So
I can reach out to the local DOT person to see if they'd be willing to also, as Commissioner Phil
Sure.
mentioned,
Yes.
try to attend, and I'd be willing
Yes.
to go with them.
Yeah.
Try to go to the county
And that's
commission
the
and
thing, that I would ask the commission is to, ask Chad to visit with the county on this, because it makes the best sense to address it at the same time as the state's redoing the rest of the intersection. So, and asking them, if they would take a look at, what the DOT is proposing.
I just think it'd work a lot better if we had a state engineer with you to talk to him.
Yes.
Because right now, if they say they ain't got no money, well, maybe the state could talk to them a little bit more.
And 2019 is coming up pretty quickly, so.
The city has a draft agreement. The DOT drafts these agreements, but the city has an anticipated agreement coming forth with our terms, so to speak, with the DOT, and they're wanting to push that through sooner than later, so I believe they would want to proceed on a similar timeline with the county, and so they're already well to the point of drafting those agreements and putting them before the different bodies, so that you will see one hopefully within the next couple months, and they'll want to work one out with the county as well for that.
Well, I would like the commission to just, authorize Chad to get with the state DOT engineer and get on the agenda with the county and, express the concerns of the citizens that have been contacting myself and Chad. Other questions or comments?
I'll just throw out the point, if I may, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
The biggest thing is that when we are redoing this entire area already, it would be a huge disservice to everybody in Lake County, including Madison and everybody who goes through that intersection. If we don't take care of the entire intersection at the same time, that's a huge disservice to all of us, and especially to the LAIC and that industrial park and all of the development and everything that we have going on out there. And I mean, there's semis that go through that intersection, and I mean, deliveries are being made on a daily basis. It's always harder to go back 3-4 years later and say, okay, let's fix it, and it just looks bad if we don't try to work together and figure out some way to take care of it. I feel it'd be a disservice to everybody in our county.
I agree with you, Mike. That is a congested intersection, but I hate to see the city taxpayers get double dipped for something that we can't get no cooperation out of.
Well, we're not asking for that. We're asking, to bring it to the county and
Yeah.
say, this is the time, we're talking 200 feet, of county road, and it would be nice, if they would take a look at it as a priority with the state, redoing Highway 34, and then make that intersection safer.
Yeah.
Safety is the big thing, so I guess that's what I'm asking, is that if, Chad and the state engineer would, bring it to the county and say, the city is doing their part going north for over a mile, and the state's doing their part, and, would the county take a look at that 200 feet and make it a safer area of the roadway coming up to that intersection, so that when people are driving on it, it all looks like it fits together and goes together. So I guess that's what I'm asking is, does the commission feel that it would be in the city's and the county's best interest to have Chad and the state engineer give a proposal, to
Sure,
and a
absolutely.
request to the county?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we need an official motion on it, or are we just going to do it?
Just authorize to be our spokesman.
We just discussed it.
Yeah, just, I guess,
Minutes can reflect the direction.
sure.
as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
Yeah, so as long as the minutes can reflect and that, I guess we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Chad.
All right, thanks, Chad.
Thank
Number 4, bid number 867, review and award a bid for sidewalk improvement project 2018-1. And again, I'll ask Chad if he'll address this one, please.
Thank you, Your Honor, Commissioners. The bid tab for Sidewalk Improvement Project 2018-1 is in the packet. There was 3 bidders that submitted bids for a bid opening on February 15th at 1:30. Tyzac Concrete out of the Center, Minnesota, J&M Construction out of Madison, South Dakota, and Big L's Contracting, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The prices are indicated in here, the unit prices. The total bids were, for Tyzac was $159,968.30. For J&M Construction, it was $133,928.85. And for Big L's Contracting, it was $138,732.35. J&M Construction has done a lot of subcontracting work for, in the past, another local contractor, and we worked with their personnel on a lot of portions of that project. I believe they're qualified to do the work, and I would recommend that we award the project to J&M Construction.
Okay, questions or comments?
I'll make a motion to approve bid number 867, review and award bid to, excuse me, I should have wrote that down.
J&M.
The packet's too big. Don't make the packets so big. J&M Construction in the amount of $138,928.85.
133,928 is what I have.
Thank you. I was reading it sideways. Trying to change things up a bit. Sidewalk Improvement Project 2018-1. That's not going to make the radio.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Bid number 868, review and award bid, ball field backstop fence project, 2018-2. Mike, did you want to address that? Or Chad?
Yeah, I can
Either
say
one?
a few things, and
Okay.
then Mr. McGilvery can as necessary. Thank you. On February 14th at 2 o'clock, we opened up bids for the ball field backstop fence project, 2018-2. There were 2 bidders for the project. We anticipated 2 bidders. American Fence Company out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, who submitted a total bid for $54,925.13, and Michael's Fence of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, who submitted a total bid for $64,987. We tabulated them. There was a minor mathematical error that was corrected in favor of the multiplication of the units. And I've also spoken with American Fence Company as the low bidder. They're comfortable with their bid, and they're ready to commence on the project when the weather breaks, should it be awarded, and once all the contractual matters are taken care of to get the contract signed. So I would recommend we award the bid to American Fence Company.
So they're comfortable with the $54,925.13 or the $2 more?
They're comfortable with the $54,925.13.
Okay.
May I ask what the incidental work was the other contractor threw in there that this guy didn't?
We put in a catch-all item where they can, it wasn't itemized, so to speak. So some contractors may put it into the unit prices, and some contractors may leave some miscellaneous work to put it into that incidental work lump sum item. One contractor opted to do it different than the other. That's how I would describe that.
Thank you.
All right. Questions or comments?
Anything for you? Anything? No. You got to be pleased with this?
Yeah, it's way under budget, what we budgeted. It came in good.
Okay. All right.
I'll make a motion that we award bid number 868 to American Fence Company in the amount of $54,925.13 for the ball field backstop fence project 2018-2.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Bid number 871, set bid date for the West Center reconstruction project, Highland Avenue to Blanche Avenue. And again, I'll ask Chad if he wants to address this one.
Thank you. We have been working with Sayre Associates on this project. It's a pretty significant project, as you well are aware. We're planning to recommend that you authorize advertising for bids for 14th of March at 10 a.m. For this project. We should be ready to distribute plans this week. So it's a little bit of a shorter timeline, but we're comfortable and we know several contractors who are looking into this, and so we're optimistic we can receive some good bids, even though it being a little later than I would have liked for the bid opening, but regardless, here we are.
Okay. Questions or comments?
Say you're gonna be the primary engineer on that, or?
No,
or
we're gonna do that.
Okay.
Yep. We bid out contractor furnished staking, and we bid out contractor furnished testing as part of it for the contractor to furnish that for a variety of reasons. But otherwise, we're doing the construction administration, and there's an intern being hired through the utilities department who will also assist on that.
Thank you.
Other questions? If not, do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we set bid dating set 8/71 for West Center Street reconstruction project from Highland to Blanche Avenue on the 14th of March,
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no announcements, no executive session, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.